Quit to win. Probably not very many people will tell you you need to quit something in order to win. I've grown up in the business circle and, worked in corporate America for over a quarter century, been involved in decades worth. Since I was 13, I've had my own business on as side hustle or some kind of a business while I was working in corporate America. So I've been involved in like 27 different businesses and industries throughout my life. Been around for a long time, obviously. So I've gotten to do and experiment and try a lot of things. And one of the biggest lessons that I've had to learn and that I've learned was knowing when to walk away, knowing when to quit, knowing when to throw in the towel. And when you're in business, people will tell you, you have to hustle, you have to grind, you can never quit, you never quit. Well, guess what? You never quit moving toward your overall objective of your big goals of what you want. But there are going to be things that you try along the way, that you do along the way, different things that you experiment with and test, that you test them and you experiment with them to find out whether they're for you or not. And when they're not for you, as soon as you know something isn't working for you, you want to turn and not just walk away, but run away. I keep having this song, The Gambler, go through my head. Know when to walk away, know when to run, which is, again, aging me. But it's so true so often. And how do I know this? Because I have been so guilty in the past of staying too long in different situations long after I knew they were bad and detrimental to me and really, really bad for me. I've been involved in businesses. I was involved with my ex-husband in bunch of different type real estate businesses, and every single day I dreaded when I woke up having to get on the phone and do the things that I was doing, my role, my part in those businesses, because they were literally soul sucking to me. Now, they're great businesses, they make a ton of money, they're awesome for people that they're right for, but for me and my personality and who I am and how I wanted to show up in the world, it was just draining. And I would be on the phone all day with loss mitigators and bankers and different people in different aspects of the real estate industry and the real estate market, people that were in distress with their homes and struggling to save their homes, that had just heart-wrenching situations. And it just broke my heart every day to be I was trying to help these people, but on the other side, the banks and the loss mitigators were trying to get as much money as they could out of these people. And it was just me in the middle of that, and it felt terrible. And I knew for a long time that it felt terrible, yet I didn't do anything about it. I didn't get out of it. I didn't replace myself with somebody else that could do the calls and do that work, because I felt like I had to do it. Like I had to be the one that was the in-between that was doing that work, to support my husband at the time, to support my kids and my family, and to help the people that we were trying to help out of just really dire situations. But I knew it wasn't the right fit for me, and doing that and a bunch of other things actually led to me having a sudden cardiac arrest. And that was when I finally gave myself permission to stop doing that type of work. Now, I'm going to not recommend that anybody get to that point. I want each and every one of us to empower ourselves to know that whenever something doesn't feel good for us, doesn't feel right for us, or doesn't feel good or make us feel lighter or happy or joyful, we shouldn't be doing it. Whether it's another person, we need to separate ourselves from that person, as hard as it can be. Again, I stayed married way longer than I should have because I felt like I needed to stay married for my kids. And it was the whole devil you know versus what else is out there, the whole fear of the unknown that kept me in that relationship longer than I knew I should, because it wasn't the right fit for me anymore. And was it anyone's fault? No, not really. People change over time. We grow either together or we grow apart. And I made choices that caused me to grow apart, and as did my ex-husband. And it just happens. That's life. But again, stayed in relationships, stayed at jobs way longer than I knew I should have. I seem to have a 3 to 5 year cycle where I get into an industry, get into a job, learn, grow, systematize, scale, and then I'm pretty much done there. I put everything in place and I'm like, okay, I'm done, next. And when I dishonor that cycle of my own inner little clock, then I start to get bored, and I'm like, I just lose interest, and I want to do something else. So I started to get involved in other things. That's just my cycle. And early on, I didn't know that was my cycle of behavior until I looked back on it after reiterating it, 3 to 5 times and saying, oh, this is why I get bored, right? We all get bored if we're not continually challenged and moving toward what it is that we want. So how do you know? I actually asked my kids this last night because we were all having dinner together. I said, how do you know when to walk away and when to quit something? And my daughter said, when it doesn't align with your values, when something you're doing or feeling or a situation you're in or and a lot of times it's people you're involved with, don't have common values and align with your values and what it is, which is, the big picture of what you're working for anymore, then you need to start to separate yourselves or walk away. And then my son said, when you evaluate and you look at a situation or a relationship over time and you find that it's not good for you anymore. And I thought those were both really, really wise answers because they're my kids and I think they're awesome. But also it reminds us that it's up to us to know and identify when something needs to stop and when something isn't good for us. And depending on the severity of that thing is the faster you'll separate yourself or run away. If someone is harming you in any way, physically, mentally, spiritually, emotionally, they either need to stop that behavior or you need to separate yourself as quickly as possible from them. It's hard to do. It's really hard to do because a lot of times we are being victimized and bullied and chipped away at by people that are close to us, and we don't even actually realize it or see it because it's been done over a long period of time, and the behavior just it goes unnoticed because it's so manipulative and so cunning that we don't always see it. And a lot of times with people we love and care about, we don't want to see it, and what we don't want to see, we don't see even when it's right in front of our face. But as soon as we do, then we need to know we have to separate ourselves from that situation. Nothing is worth deteriorating you as a human being. No person, no place, no thing, nothing. If you have abusive family members, abusive children, abusive parents, abusive anything, you need to get away from them. And you need to save yourself, literally save yourself. Topic, again, beyond my expertise and my control. I can only speak based on my own personal experience with different types of situations that I knew weren't good for me. Sometimes you need to quit that job and find another, or find another and then quit that job. Sometimes you need to get away from that boss because they are so wrong for you. I've had bad bosses, and I learned from that experience how to get along with anybody and everybody, but I also knew at some point it was time for me to move on to a different job, a different place, a different organization that was a better environment for me where I could contribute more and grow and expand and become more the person that I wanted to be. So again, know when to quit. And quitting isn't bad. I mean, all the messages that I've received most of my life are, you just stick to it, you keep going, you figure it out, you find the answers. And I absolutely positively believe in that. But I also know that sometimes we choose the wrong road. Sometimes we choose the wrong people to align with. I've had bad business partners. Sometimes I've had awesome business partners, but I've had bad business partners. Sometimes we choose people that just aren't a fit for us. And even today, as I've gone from the offline world to the online world, sometimes I've chosen to align with people and do projects with people. And as we get into it, we're like, you know what? Our customers really aren't the same market. They're not really the same people. Or your approach to your customers and my approach to my customers is totally different, not in alignment. As my daughter said, if your goals and values don't align, then you just need to go your separate ways. You serve your people, I'll serve mine. Thanks, but maybe in the future sometime, when our values and our goals align. So know when to walk away. And the litmus test is always, how does something make you feel? If it makes you feel bad, get away from it. Stop doing it. If it makes you feel good, keep doing it. Keep moving toward it. That's always my test these days. And I recommend that you adopt it as well. So that's it. When to walk away, when to hold them, when to throw them. Never count your money when you're sitting at the table, or your winnings when you're sitting at the table. Obviously, gambler totally stuck in my head today. That's it. That's our super size. That's our success tip for today, our setup for success. Join us here on the Get Up and Go Challenge page on October 1st through 31st for the next free 30-day Get Up and Go Challenge. We teach you, and we all together reinforce the framework and the ability to guarantee that we get better results after any change or challenge that we face than we had going into it by installing in our subconscious a framework called the SOAP framework, secret, called the SOAP framework, that allows us to automatically filter everything that happens to us, all of our experiences, through this filter to guarantee that we get the best possible results for us each and every time. So we're starting that October 1st through the 31st. Welcome to join us free here on the page. Otherwise, they'll be in the units, and you can go back and you can listen to those when it works for you, when it fits for you. Because this is about serving you. It's not about, you know, me doing a challenge. It's about me personally developing and using and doing the challenge as well, because I do it right along with you. But it's more about what works for you, what do you need when you need it. In the private Facebook group, there are the past three, is this three? Yeah, the past 3 or 4 30-plus day challenges. There's at least 4 challenges in there. I think one isn't a 30-day one. And then there's pre-work like this Setup for Success, where we do something in between. We just talk about life lessons, 1 a day. And then there's also there was a preliminary leading up to the August 30-day challenge. I can't remember what that's called. I think it's Unit 3. But anyway, there's 5 units in there already. And then the October challenge will be Unit 6. But you do have to sign up and join that private group, because I don't want any spam in there. We don't want spam there. It's a group for us to grow and personally develop and share our innermost thoughts and things. That's why it's a private group, and you got to get let in, or somebody has to recommend that you get let in before you get let into that group. Not that it's snooty or anything, but we want to make sure that it's people that really want to help other people in there and want to help themselves. All right, that's it. And that doesn't mean spamming, by the way. Spamming, helping yourself to get more business, called spam, doesn't fit in this group at all. All right, have a great day. I will be with you tomorrow with another life lesson as we set up for success for the next 30-day Get Up and Go challenge. Have an awesome day.